still to this day, I still catch myself, you know, getting outside and like, did I lock the door?
Yeah.
You know, because I'm on such autopilot, because I'm thinking about other things. And I think that's a lot of people can probably relate to that in some aspects of their life. You know, whether we're brushing our teeth or doing the dishes or some of these kind of quote unquote mundane aspects of life, we kind of put ourselves on autopilot and become unconscious, and we lose that presence, and then we just kind of coast, if you will. And still to this day, I'll have to, okay, stop, come back, pull back, and make sure I lock the door. But it's almost like a reset for myself to be like, man, okay, when I do that, then I need to look at all aspects of my life and say, okay, if I'm doing this here, I'm absolutely doing it in other areas. So I need to stop, pull back, and reassess and understand, where am I being unconscious? And so how can we do that? We can start by being really present. When I am washing dishes, when I am brushing my teeth, some of those mundane things, bring more presence, intention, and purpose into those little things. And that can help create connection. That can help bring us into the present moment. And because the present moment is really the only moment that ever exists.
Yeah.
So when we talk about connection, not only to others, which it's really key to be present, because that's how we listen, that's how we receive, that's how we give, those kind of things. But if we aren't even willing to do that and be that for ourselves, as you were saying in the very, very beginning of this podcast, how can we show up and be that for others? We can't. It's going to be limited. So the more that we can practice that for ourselves, take the time to listen to our thoughts, which is where meditation comes into play. Take the time to be aware of what our body needs, by, instead of just throwing something in your face to eat, what is my body looking for right now? What would fuel me in this moment to help me get to achieve what I desire to achieve? If I need to really focus for the rest of the day, then maybe a really heavy lunch isn't going to get me there, because it might make me want to fall asleep. Exactly. The reality is I need something light and energetic to really get me to push through.
And that's such a good point.
Right?
Especially with some of the things we've navigated recently, people really have gotten on more of a health kick. And I've had some individuals come forward and ask about nutrition and integrative health services, which is such a blessing. But what they desire to do is go on to this thing that they've heard about, or that thing that they've heard about. My friend had success here, but that isn't a fix for everyone. What we need to do, as you so wonderfully said, is listen to what your body needs, which means you need to be connected to all of your bodies, your physical, your mental, your emotional, your spiritual. Like, all aspects of that part of you matter. And we need to actually sit down and help understand how you connect to all levels of self, so that you can hear what that is, as you just said. Because what works for you, and we navigate this in our own home, what fits for you physically to put in your body doesn't fit for me to physically put in my body. We have two different needs for nourishing ourselves.
We're not the same person.
We're not.
It wouldn't make sense.
So it's important to allow yourself that freedom, and not just, okay, I'm in a rush, I'm going to shove this into my body and hope that it fits.
And same with emotion. Because we get so busy and we're doing all those other things, sometimes we'll suppress emotion or just get over something without realizing that it's like the very thing that's festering and keeping us from actually being conscious and presence in other things. So we need to take the time to actually flow through those emotions, understand it, journal, talk to someone, think it through, feel it through, like actually allow yourself to feel. We don't think emotion, we feel emotion. So take the time to feel. That's what the heart and love is all there for. So experience it. And then, if we really feel disconnected and we can't put a finger on it, we're just like, what is this thing that I just feel disconnected from everything and everyone around me? maybe start diving into spirituality. You know, what practices am I doing? You know, whether you're atheist or not, spirituality can still be experienced.
Right. It's
connection.
Mm-hmm.
In essence, it is connection. And it starts again back to self. And so when we aren't fully connected to who we are, then again, we can't be fully connected to everything and everyone around us. And so it's all these, we've kind of been in this society of looking outside of ourselves to find the problem. And the solution is out there because the problem is in here. And kind of it's really more or less the opposite. It's more like the problem tends to be out there and the solution is truly in here. And you brought up intuition, right? Yeah, you brought up intuition. What is intuition? It's connection. At its very source, it's connection. And that's within ourselves.
Yeah. So much so. And as you were saying, like if there's an emotional component, sometimes that emotional component will trigger us to cover it with food.
Yep.
Right? Mm-hmm. So that because we're ignoring it and we're burying it, well, we're going to bury it with other emotions, getting caught in other drama outside of us, so that we don't have to look at the drama that's going on within us. Getting food to suppress it and push it down. There's all of these ways that we tend to not connect with what's really happening, but instead cover it with other things. Whereas if you do take time to look at practices that will fit for you, however you find them, but the key is to look at, and we'll have some of them in the guide that we're putting out, the connection guide, so that you can begin to start to explore these things, how to connect with yourself, how to connect with your emotions, how to connect with your body, how to connect with others. These are things that need to be deep and long lasting so that you can be stable and remain in that place. And if you get knocked sideways, it's okay, because we all do.
Yeah.
Right? It happens. It's a crazy world. Crazy. So it's going to happen, but then at least you have tools to go back to get yourself reconnected and recentered so that you can continue to move on.